Hi, I'm Jim Raffle. Welcome to this week's episode of the Jim and Shelby Show, All Things Print Podcast. I am joined by
Shelby Sapusik. How are you, Jim?
I'm good, and the last episode we covered some of Printing United, and what we
Right.
figured out when we got back from Printing United Expo is we had too much recorded for one episode because we're trying to make these a little bit shorter so you guys can watch them all in about 15 minutes or less.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got two segments left. The first one is with, well, I'm going to let you introduce this one because it's about Printing United's Women in Print initiative. So take it away.
So I had a chance to have a long conversation with Lisbeth Lyons Black, and she heads up the Women in Print Alliance efforts with Printing United Alliance. I'm going to let her tell you her story and what Women in Print Alliance is. That's what we talked about. But at the expo, she had a very well-attended luncheon. There was, I think, 300 women there, and it was a great speaker. I went to the event, and then she had some networking events too. So let's let her talk, and you'll find out more about that.
Yeah, and just to avoid any confusion, we're actually at a different show, the GPX show in Charlotte. That's why you see our badges. We are just trying to catch up on some recording here. So also, you may have remembered that we went into, in the last episode, we went into the Sawgrass booth and we looked at the VersaFlex product.
We did.
And this shirt I'm wearing right here is VersaFlex. So I had this idea to match this hat I have with a shirt. I think I did a pretty decent job. And so I went home after the show and I did some AI art creation. And I
sea turtles, of course.
Yeah, and so I became a maker for a moment.
Awesome.
This is actually an experimental shirt for me. I wanted to make sure. This is a 50%, I think 60 cotton, 40 poly, or the other way around.
Okay.
So it's not 100% cotton, and it worked great. I also did one on a tri-blend for my wife. That also worked great. And then I did one on 100% cotton. In my opinion, all three look great.
Okay.
And that's one of the things about VersaFlex is being able to, pretty much go on to anything. And so with that,
but also at the show, the second part of this episode, we have Lisbeth Lyons Black and Women in Print Alliance. But I also was in the Printing United Alliance booth, and since you're talking about shirts, you're going to see a demonstration of actual DTF.
Well, not the printing of DTF,
no,
the transferring
of
DTF,
yes.
Which is a very similar process to transferring VersaFlex, but there's some differences in time and temperature and pressure. But when you see the heat press doing the DTF applications, that's basically how this gets on here, or on a shirt, or any of the other things we showed. And so yeah, let's jump into Elizabeth and then just go right into the other piece in the booth, because both of these segments are in the Printing United booth, which is kind of why we kept them together. Yep. And you'll see Shelby actually help a gentleman make a Printing United Expo shirt.
Well, I told him where to put the patches and designs, but he did all the work. But yes.
Typical designer. Do this, do that.
No.
So we'll roll through both of those and then we'll come back.
All right, we are in the Printing United Alliance booth, and we're at this Women in Print Alliance section of this. I'm with Lisbeth Lyons Black. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank
How's
you.
the show been so far?
So the energy's been great. A lot of women stopping by, a lot of interest in just what Women in Print is all about. And we're really kind of a microcosm of what Printing United Expo is all about. So
can you talk a little bit more about that? I know you had a networking event last night and you have a big luncheon today, but what is your involvement with Printing United Alliance, and what does Women in Print Alliance do for Women in Print?
Sure. So we are actually under the umbrella of Printing United Alliance, which is great because that allows us, very much like Printing United Expo and Printing United Alliance, to have women from all segments of the printing industry come together in one organization. So women, with the industry converging and so many blurred lines, I see all the time women who are meeting one another for the first time from different segments in the industry or different parts of the country or even globally, that are able to make not only personal networking connections and socialize and enjoy one another's company, but really some business connections too. And that's what really that's what the show is all about. And we're happy to be part of facilitating that for the women who are attending the show, both as buyers, as exhibitors, There are a lot of women giving educational talks and technology demonstrations. So women are all over the place here at Printing United Alliance, and we're their hub here at the show.
I've been coming to the show for more than a decade, and I am seeing more women get involved in the print industry, which I think is awesome. You know? And I like that you're an advocate for that.
And more women that are, I always like to say we love to talk about the experience of being a woman in print, but there's so much more to talk about. And you see women all over Expo, like I said, who are, giving demonstrations, giving technology talks, doing educational sessions. So women are in great positions here, leadership positions and innovative positions, and we're just happy to be part of all of that. But yeah, our goal at Women in Print Alliance, our mission is it's pretty straightforward. It's to advance, attract, and advocate for women in the printing industry, again, at all segments and at all stages of their career. And I always like to point that out because there are a lot of organizations that are just geared toward women in the executive office, women in the C-suite, and we have student memberships. I just spoke actually with students upstairs. There's a student day, and there are a lot of students here from programs like Clemson University or Ferris State University. And we have a student membership that's complimentary so that women can get exposure to the different pathways that other successful women who've been in the industry for many years have been able to take and really see what they can do with their degree and do that early networking, which is so important. And we actually extend that student membership 1 year post-graduation. Wow. So we know everybody doesn't graduate with a job.
Right.
Right? And so to be able to still have that support and that network and that community and feel like you can reach out to a woman who's, older or more experienced, that's kind of intimidating and that's scary. But if you can say, I know you're a member of Women in Print Alliance and I'm a student member, there's that community connection that you mentioned. So that's exciting. So that's part of attracting the women to the industry, particularly younger women, Gen Z, next gen pipeline. But there are women coming to the industry at all stages of life, women coming back to the industry after having taken off to raise a family. Or I always say this is a great industry for women because it's so mobile. I was a military spouse, and or I guess I still am. I'm still married. My husband's no longer in the military, but as a military spouse, even for a brief time, I saw, for example, the fact that women had to give up careers because they had to move around so much, and there were jobs like teaching or nursing that were pretty popular because women could do them anywhere. And when we started Women in Print Alliance, I'm like, we need to really tell that story because this is a very mobile profession. If you're a trailing spouse and if you have to go to another country even, and you have a background in print is everywhere. You can find some type of work to do. Or if you're just wanting to strike out on your own and you want to change a pace and you're wanting to move to a completely new part of the US or a new part of the world, you have skills you can take with you.
That's an interesting perspective. I've never thought about that.
Yes, I mean, when we say attract, it's like that there's so many things that make this industry appealing to women. So, telling that story, attracting women to print, and then helping advance them once they do get into a job. Because we hear from a lot of women who say, I'm the only woman in the C-suite. I'm the only woman on my sales team. I'm the only woman on my operations floor. And that can be kind of lonely to be the only, right? And so having, again, community with Women in Print Alliance, we've got a very robust membership directory and women can find one another. I know at the show last year, a woman came up and she was a printer for one of the states. So she did all the state printing. I think California, and about an hour later another woman came up and she had the same exact job in another state and they didn't know one another, so they were able to connect through Women in Print Alliance, and now they have someone they can bounce ideas off of, they can have work conversations with, and so I think that's part of just that support network for women to help and encourage one another advance. And then we have an advocacy component too, and that's my personal background. I've always been in government and public affairs, and one of the issues that I've always worked on is workforce and education policy. And that is so critical to the printing industry, considering that the workforce is aging, workforce is changing. We have new things like AI that are coming in. What is that going to mean for workforce and education policy? And so that is something that I live in Washington, D.C., I go to Capitol Hill. We're able to have our finger on the pulse of what's happening from a policy standpoint and able to have some influence and weigh in where it makes sense to help advance issues for women in the workplace. So those are our three, key components. And at the end of the day, Women in Print Alliance, it's a workforce development initiative and it's community building. And you mentioned the luncheon. We've got, I'm leaving in like 10 minutes to go up to our luncheon. We have 299 women signed up for a room capacity of 300. So if you're that one woman who hasn't signed up yet, find me in the next 10 minutes, to buy your ticket. No, but the demand has been incredible. I mean, literally, we're bursting at the seams. We have one of our signature programs that we offer is a quarterly professional development networking series. And we like to bring in women from outside the industry to talk about things that are kind of universal to everyone. So our keynote, for example, is an executive coach who's going to be talking about negotiation skills and helping women sharpen their negotiation skills. So I said every exhibitor better watch out because 299 women are coming out of that show and they're going to have brand new sharpened negotiation skills. So whether they're selling or buying, whatever the wheeling and dealing is going on, it's going to get tougher with the women who come out of that luncheon today.
Well, I'm looking forward to being there.
We're so glad you're coming. Yes.
And I've enjoyed being part of Women in Print Alliance. I think I joined a couple years ago.
You were an early member. Thank you, Shelby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I want to shout out to Jim as well.
Behind the camera?
Jim's behind the camera, and I'll give a shout out to Jim because he's been supportive too. And this is still a predominantly male industry. You can see it when you walk around the show floor. And Women in Print Alliance is an industry initiative, and we can't do it all by ourselves. We need men in print to be supportive, and I'm so grateful and so pleased to have had men reach out to me this week who stopped by the booth and said, I have this rock star woman who works for me. How can I get her involved in the program? Or I brought someone to the show. It's her first time here. How can I get her into your luncheon? Because I think she'd really benefit. And that's the support we need from men in print. So we have individual memberships, student memberships that I mentioned, and corporate memberships. So if there's any guy out there who's saying, hey, I can't join as a member, but I've got, 20 women that work for me that would all benefit from this. When a corporation joins, all of the women are eligible in that corporation to get the benefits of Women in Print Alliance. So it's really almost like an offshoot of what you're doing already for HR and professional development. So I'm happy to have that conversation with any of those guys. And I just really appreciate your support, Jim, and your support, Shelby. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for talking with us today.
Anytime.
I'm here with Jose Morales. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Yes, that is correct.
When you're not making shirts for everybody in the Print United Alliance booth, what do you do for a living?
I am a embroidery manager for U.S. Colorworks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so we're making t-shirts here, and I needed a new shirt. So you pick out your size of shirt, and then you can pick out how you want to basically decorate it. This is DTF. I'm going to put this on the back, please. This Mr. Flamingo.
This on the back.
This on right here,
Left
and
chest.
then this on one of the sleeves. You can pick whatever makes you happy.
Left chest and
yes,
right
please.
sleeve.
Yeah, sounds good.
That'll make me
real
happy. So how are you enjoying the show?
It's going really well. I've been busy. Actually, this is kind of the first time I've spent a lot of time on the show floor. We've been out doing a lot of speaking for some of the education sessions.
Okay. So. And what do you educate the people on?
Color management consulting.
Color management consulting?
Yep.
That's actually quite a good thing because unfortunately some people don't grasp that aspect.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I've seen with DTF is that some printers aren't color calibrated and what you see on screen versus what you see on the DTF, totally different things.
Exactly.
And for you to consult companies in doing that, that's great.
That looks really nice.
All right. Let's go on to the back.
Yeah, we've been working a lot with DTF this year too. We kind of sometimes joke that it's the wild, wild west of printing.
That I think that might not be a joke.
Yeah. Well.
I think you hit it right on the spot with that one.
What has your experience been with DTF and color?
With DTF and color, my experience has been that I've had to reprint jobs with other companies because the one local company didn't understand that they had to calibrate the grays so it wouldn't look purple.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And how did you solve that problem?
by going to a different shop,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, by going to a different shop. And, you know, one of the things to me is always having a monitor that gives you the correct color.
Right.
Right.
So you
As a
need
graphic designer.
You need a high quality monitor that's hopefully been color calibrated.
Exactly. Exactly. You know. And a lot of, I guess the graphic designers now, I don't know if they're not paying attention to that. So where, oh, let me just go to Best Buy and buy a monitor, right?
Or
But
they're doing their actual color correction on a laptop screen, which isn't
Exactly.
isn't actually the best way to go.
It's not. But, you know, you can only teach them so much.
Right.
You know?
Well-
and that's where you guys come in.
Well, that if it was easy, I wouldn't have a job. So
There's a niche for you guys.
yes,
So that's
there
good.
definitely is. So what are we're doing? 280? Is that what you told me?
We're
280
doing about
temperature.
288.
Okay.
Yeah, 288, just so it can adhere real good to it, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
usually what I do is I give it, and I'm pretty sure other shops do the same thing, right? But what I do is I press it first to take out the moisture.
Right.
Right, to take the moisture off, and then
And wrinkles.
well, this was gonna be wrinkly.
Okay.
Because this one
Yeah.
is still not set up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then just to get the moisture out so the film can adhere better to the garment
Mm-hmm.
and you won't have any issues down the road with it peeling off.
Sure.
Yeah.
And in your experience, like how many washes will this be good for? What do you think? If you had to guess.
If I had to guess,
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
have to say it though, so we can hear it better.
He said 40 to 50 washes is what Jim said over there behind the camera. It's looking very nice. I appreciate this.
But if you wear it 40, 50 times, that's
Yeah.
a very popular t-shirt.
That's true. I like that I'm getting a member.
There you go.
Also, I have all these long sleeve, these I have underneath here, my Printing Alliance,
Okay.
and they're all long sleeve.
Okay.
So when I saw I could get a t-shirt, I was like, hey.
Yeah, let me get that t-shirt.
Right. And you're doing what, 10, 15 seconds each?
I believe it was 15 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's hold it up so. Oh, lovely. Looks wonderful. And then the member.
Shelby,
Yep. What's that?
wrap this up.
Okay. So here is our printed shirt, everybody. Everybody approve? All right. Cool. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate the time.
Have a good one.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed those two segments.
Yeah.
I know you got to see all of Shelby on camera and no Jim, I just realized.
Well, you got that little dig in the intro, so that's fine.
I did, what dig?
About being a designer.
Well, and bossy. I mean,
Right.
we do call you boss lady around the office.
That's true. Okay.
So
Anyway.
hopefully you enjoyed this episode. As you can probably tell, the next episode is also going to have some trade show tie-ins.
Yes.
It's going to actually be this show, GPX, just a little intro for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
I'm going to be going along with a lot of people who are actually at this show. We're going to be going to Atlanta, and PDS Equipment is hosting the grand opening of Amaki's new Atlanta area headquarters. And it apparently is the biggest UV technological center in the country.
wow, that's big.
Yes.
And so hopefully you've enjoyed our two episodes as they relate to the Printing United show. We had a lot of fun making them. And then after this next episode, you'll probably get back to more of Jim and Shelby's two talking heads, and we'll come up with some topics for you. I've got some ideas.
Oh, good.
We're going to take over the world. No. But yeah, have a great week, and we will see you next episode.